Before we begin, I want you to take a long, slow breath, because what we are about to talk about has the power to change the next 10, 20, even 30 years of your life. Every single day, people who look completely healthy collapse from heart attacks they never expected. They exercise. They choose low-fat foods. Their cholesterol numbers look okay. Their doctor says everything looks fine. And yet, inside their arteries, something silent is happening. Something their annual blood tests do not clearly show. Something that grows quietly for years before it finally snaps. Let me take you into one of these stories. Michael was 48. He ran on weekends, ate low-fat yogurt, low-fat cereal, low-fat everything. He didn't smoke. He genuinely believed he was doing everything right. His LDL cholesterol was 95, a number that makes most doctors shrug. He thought he was safe. Until one morning, while carrying grocery bags up the stairs, he felt a strange tightness across his chest. Not pain, just pressure. He sat down, took a breath, and before he could stand up again, he collapsed. The paramedics saved him. He survived, but he lost 20% of his heart muscle that morning. The shocking part wasn't the heart attack, it was the cause, because it wasn't the cholesterol number he spent years obsessing over. It was something almost no one told him to check. Here's what most people never hear. The cholesterol on your blood test, LDL, HDL, total cholesterol. That is only one part of the story. LDL itself comes in different forms, some harmless, some extremely dangerous. Imagine two types of LDL particles. One type is large, soft, and slow, like a floating balloon. It drifts around without hurting the artery wall. When you eat healthy fats, this type goes up. When you take statins, this type goes down. This one is not the real villain. Then there is the dangerous kind. Small, dense, sharp, like tiny pieces of metal drifting through your bloodstream. These particles slip through microscopic cracks in your artery lining. They irritate the wall. They trigger inflammation. They attract immune cells that turn into plaque. They are the particles that create silent, dangerous buildup. And here's the twist. Small, dense LDL is not mainly caused by eating fat. It rises because of sugar and refined carbohydrates and insulin resistance. That means you can have normal LDL and still be in danger. Let me simplify this. Every time your blood sugar spikes, after juice, pastries, white rice, cereal, or processed snacks, your body releases insulin. Over years, your cells stop responding. Insulin resistance begins. Your liver starts converting extra sugar into fat, and that fat floats in your blood as triglycerides. And when triglycerides get too high, they break down into more small, dense LDL. This was the storm building silently inside Michael. For years, he replaced fat with low-fat foods, flavored yogurt, healthy granola, cereal bars, crackers, pasta, and bread. He wasn't lowering his risk. He was fueling the exact particles that nearly killed him. Let's pause here. I want you to do something right now. If you have your latest blood test on your phone or folded away in a drawer, go get it. I'm serious. We are going to audit it together. Most people look at total cholesterol. Some look at LDL. If the LDL is under 100, they feel invincible. But I want your eyes on two numbers: triglycerides and HDL. Now here's the part your doctor may not have time to explain. Take your triglyceride number and divide it by your HDL number. This gives you a ratio, and this ratio is one of the strongest predictors of metabolic stress and heart disease that we can measure in a standard blood test. Let me show you how this works. Scenario A: triglycerides 100, HDL 50. 100 divided by 50 equals 2. This is borderline. You are standing near the edge, but you are not over it. Scenario B: triglycerides 200, HDL 40. 200 divided by 40 equals 5. This ratio means your metabolic system is under significant strain, not panic, but a clear warning that small, dense LDL is likely forming right now. Here is the simple cheat sheet to remember. If the ratio is under 1.5, your metabolism is flexible and healthy. If the ratio is above 2, insulin resistance is beginning. If the ratio is above 3, metabolic dysfunction is already significant. If the ratio is above 6, you are in the high-risk category for cardiovascular events, even if your LDL number looks normal. If you need to pause and calculate yours, go ahead. This ratio is not just information. It is a roadmap. Let's go back to Michael. His triglycerides were 248. His HDL was 34. His ratio was over 7. And no one told him this mattered. His LDL looked fine, but inside, the particles were not fine. Now I want to reveal something that most people never discover until it is too late. When Michael first tried to eat healthy, he was accidentally making his insulin resistance worse. He fell into what I call the health halo trap. Foods marketed as healthy, but quietly spiking insulin and pushing his metabolism deeper into trouble. Let me show you the 3 items he removed first. Item 1. Whole grain cereals and granola that say "Heart Healthy" on the box. Turn the box around. The second or third ingredient is almost always sugar. Honey, syrup, or cane sugar. To your body, sugar is sugar. Some processed oatmeals raise your blood sugar more than most people expect. We switched Michael to steel-cut oats with walnuts and chia seeds. Fat and fiber to soften any glucose rise. Item 2. Liquid sugar, especially fruit juice, orange juice, apple juice, even fresh pressed juice. It is pure fructose without the fiber. It hits the liver instantly and drives triglycerides upward. Item 3. Low-fat flavored yogurt. When companies remove fat, they add sugar. A small cup can have 15 to 20 grams of sugar. That is not breakfast. That is dessert. Removing these 3 foods did not just reduce calories, it lowered insulin. And lowering insulin gives the body permission to burn fat again. This was the first turning point. But Michael did something else, something more powerful. He rebuilt his entire day around healing. People always ask for a plan they can follow tomorrow. So here is exactly what he did. 7 a.m. No food yet, just water. This extended his overnight fast and gave his liver time to clear stored triglycerides. 9 a.m. Breakfast. Protein and healthy fats. 3 eggs, half an avocado, maybe spinach. A savory breakfast stabilizes blood sugar. A sweet breakfast creates a roller coaster for the rest of the day. 1 p.m. Lunch. A large salad with olive oil and vinegar, plus salmon or chicken. The fiber acts like a net, slowing glucose absorption. And here is the magic part. After each meal, Michael took a 10-minute walk. Just 10 minutes. Walking right after eating helps muscles absorb glucose from the bloodstream without needing much insulin. It is one of the simplest ways to flatten a glucose spike. 7 p.m. Dinner, then the kitchen closes. Late-night snacking keeps insulin high while you sleep. Ending early allowed his body to enter repair mode overnight. Then came the simplest part. Sleep. 8 hours. Same schedule. Poor sleep raises cortisol, and cortisol pushes insulin resistance even further. 3 months later, his numbers transformed. Triglycerides dropped to 126. HDL climbed to 49. His ratio fell below 3. Small-dense LDL nearly disappeared. No, the plaque in his arteries did not vanish, but it stopped growing. It stabilized, and that alone cut his risk dramatically. Let's pause here. A heart attack does not happen because plaque builds slowly. It happens because plaque ruptures suddenly. And what makes plaque rupture? Inflammation, metabolic stress, small, dense LDL slipping into the artery wall. A clot forming on top of the rupture, blocking the artery completely. So yes, if your LDL is high, it matters. Statins matter. Guidelines matter. Treatment matters. They save lives every day. But if your triglycerides are high, if your HDL is low, if you feel fatigued after meals, if your waistline is expanding, if you crave sugar constantly, if your blood pressure keeps creeping up, your real issue is not just cholesterol, it is metabolism. And metabolism can change. You can lower inflammation. You can reduce triglycerides. You can shrink small, dense LDL. You can stabilize plaque. You can even reverse early metabolic dysfunction. Your heart is not doomed. Your arteries are not fixed in stone. They respond to what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and how you live. And they can heal. Before we end, I want you to carry one simple truth. Your most important cholesterol test is not just the LDL number. It is the story told by triglycerides, by HDL, and by the ratio between them. Because that ratio reveals whether your metabolism is calm or burning silently in the background. You deserve clarity. You deserve understanding. You deserve a future where your arteries are strong, stable, and protected. And now, you know exactly how to begin.